you need to take a few things with you when you go out to visit properties so you can be prepared for whatever might be coming your way. In this video, I'm going to show you everything you need and explain why you need to take it with you. Hi y'all, thanks for stopping back by. If you're new here, then welcome. My name is Lori Livers. I know it looks like livers, but it sounds like livers. It's a thing. So my name is Lori Livers, and I'm glad to have you. A few years ago, I started investing in real estate, and it's been absolutely life-changing for me because it didn't take long for me to create enough passive income on a regular monthly basis that I was able to leave my 9 to 5 behind, and I'm really excited about that. So that's something I really like to share on this channel because I want everybody to know if I can do it, you can do it too. So this video is all about the few things you need to have with you when you go out to visit potential properties. All of these things are going to be detailed in my collection over at LoriLovesThese.com. So don't worry about trying to keep up with it. Everything will be linked below. You can just hit that link, it'll take you right there, and you'll be able to see all the details and latest pricing on all of these things. Let's get started. So the very first thing you're going to need to have is what you already have in your hand probably right now, your phone. You want to have your phone with you. But on your phone, you need to have downloaded the OneNote app. And let me tell you why OneNote is so important for me in keeping all of this stuff organized. So OneNote is just a simple digital notebook, and you can really do whatever you want with it. I use mine for planning. I use mine to keep all my real estate properties invested. I even have a OneNote planner for my YouTube channel, so literally you can use it for anything. In my real estate investment notebook, my digital notebook, I have a section for potential properties. And within that section, I simply create a page for each property that I'm going to visit. And the reason this works so well is because you can keep all of your information on that one page about the property. You can put, obviously, the address. You can put any notes you want to make about the property, any preliminary numbers you've run, anybody that you might want to get in contact with about the property. But the most amazing thing about OneNote is you can click right into the page, hit record, and you can record a video of the property as you walk the property. You can also make notes and even insert photos, and everything is stored right there in that one page in OneNote. Now the reason this is important is because seeing more and more properties as you grow your portfolio bigger and bigger and bigger is that if you go out and see 6, 7, 8 houses in one day, you may have videos, 6, 7, 8 videos on your phone. But they all start to run together. And so it's very easy to forget which house was which. And just by having this one simple page created in your OneNote notebook, all for free, that won't happen. You have all your information organized in a way that you could use it however you want to use it when you leave. So the first thing you need is your phone and the OneNote app. All right, so the very next thing you need to have with you is some rubber boots. Cheap rubber boots. These are not your expensive, nice, comfy, cushy hunter rubber boots. These are cheap rubber boots, and the reason you want them to be cheap but durable is because they may very likely have to also be disposable. The reason you're going to want to have some rubber boots on, you do not want to walk these properties, you do not want to walk inside the house, and definitely not outside the house in your regular street shoes. Now, a lot of these houses have been sitting vacant for a long time. But a lot of these houses have had squatters living in them. A lot of these houses have had animals living in them. A lot of these houses have flooded and they have black mold growing in them. You just don't know what you're walking into. So whatever it is that you're walking into, you want to walk into it with some cheap rubber boots that you can throw away if you need to. Because you don't want all of that mess coming home with you. And the other thing you need to keep with your rubber boots is like an old towel or an IKEA plastic bag, something that you can take your boots off before you get back in your car and throw them in. That way you can hose them off, clean them up, or even throw them away when you get home. Now the next thing you're going to want to have with you is a can of bug spray, deterrent, whatever. I like to use Deep Woods Off. And what I do is I spray the outside of my boots with Deep Woods Off. And the reason I do this is because the yards and landscaping and even the inside of the house of these properties has not been maintained. And there's often fleas and ticks and I don't know what else. But whatever it is, I don't want it coming home with me. So I spray the outside of my boots with Deep Woods Off before I go into a house. And certainly before I walk the exterior of a house and get into any landscaping creepy crawlies. So Deep Woods Off is another thing that for me, I have to have with me when I go out to visit properties. Another thing that you're definitely going to want to have with you is either some gloves or some hand sanitizer. When we go in and we walk these properties, there's things in weird places. There's curtains to look behind that aren't necessarily in front of windows. There's doorknobs that you're going to want to touch and open. You want to see what's on the other side of the curtain. You want to see what's on the other side of the door. But you don't want to take home whatever was on that curtain or whatever was on that door handle with you. So either some rubber gloves that you can throw away or some hand sanitizer so you can wash it off as best you can until you get to some real soap and water is something that's really important for you to have with you when you go out to visit these properties. So the next thing that you want to make sure you have with you is a flashlight. And I know everybody says, but I've got my phone, I already have a flashlight with me. And that's true. And in some circumstances, and in a lot of circumstances, that will work for you. But let me tell you why it doesn't work for me. I am recording video with my phone and I'm taking notes and I'm embedding it in my OneNote page so I have everything organized. I don't want to have my phone also serve as my flashlight because it's already serving all those other needs for me. And another thing about my phone is that I can't have a spotlight flashlight on my phone. It creates a great floodlight, but when you're in a house with no electricity, sometimes you really need to focus light, especially up around the ceiling, because that will allow you to see much more clearly if that ceiling has got water damage or mold growing in the corners or anything like that, that the floodlight that you're going to use from your phone isn't going to let you see. So a little external flashlight to really get some focus light where you need it, when you want it, is something that's important for you to have with you. Another thing that's really super important for you to have, or at least it is for me, is an organizer to carry all of this stuff around. I don't want these rubber boots. I don't want my flashlight. I don't want my hand sanitizer or my off rolling around in the back of my Jeep. I have to keep things organized. It just helps me get through life in a way that makes me feel more comfortable. So I have to have this organizer that keeps all of my stuff right where I need it so that I know exactly where it is and I'm ready to go when I'm ready to go. Now, this one is fantastic because it's big. I can carry it anywhere and I can carry a ton of things in it, but it's also collapsible and folds completely flat. Could not be more convenient. I use this thing all the time. That's almost everything. There's still two more things, and the two things that I'm going to tell you about next are the very most important things you need to have with you when you go out to visit any potential property. So if you could just take a second and hit that like button, I'd really appreciate it. It does me a whole lot of good. And I'll get on to those next two very most important things that you have to have with you when you go out to visit a property. So one of the most important things that you absolutely have to have with you when you go out to visit these properties is a great rental property calculator. The app I'm using right now was designed to be used on the go, and that's fantastic because in my opinion it's the most effective rental calculator tool that real estate investors even have available to us at this current time. This app was built by Chandler Smith, and Chandler Smith doesn't know I exist, so this is not any type of promo for his product. He's another YouTuber that is really active in real estate investing. He's got a great channel. So if you get a chance, go over and visit his channel. I will link the download to his app in the description of this video. If you get a chance, really go download it. It is a great tool to have on hand when you get out to a property so you can really see how adjusting your purchase price or maybe your rehab budget will affect your return. It's something that's so important, I think everybody should have it with them. Now this brings us to the final and what I believe to be the absolutely most important thing that you need to have with you when you go out to visit any potential property. And that is a way to protect yourself. And I'm not going to say what is the right way for you to protect yourself versus what is the right way for somebody else to protect themselves. That's a decision we all have to make for ourselves. It's a very personal decision. But it is incredibly important for you to have some way to protect yourself in an emergency type of situation wherever you go. And let me tell you why. Real estate agents and real estate investors get attacked on property all the time. I personally know 2 different real estate professionals that have been attacked and robbed at gunpoint. Nothing like that has ever happened to me, and I'm so grateful for that. But it could happen, and in that type of instance, in that type of emergency, a call to 911 is simply not going to cut it. So I have linked a couple of products in my collection at LoriLovesThese.com that I think most people would be comfortable carrying to be able to protect themselves in the event of an emergency. Now let me tell you what has happened to me and what is probably more likely and more threatening than any person. I've been charged by pit bulls in a house. 2 pit bulls came charging at me and another real estate investor in a house. So grateful nothing happened to us. The owner was able at the last minute to control the animals. But Had she not been able to get the control of those animals that she needed to keep us from being injured, we would have had to defend ourselves. So I hope that you would want to be proactive and be responsible for your own personal safety in the event that anything did go wrong. Now here's a little bonus tip for you. This is one thing that you need to make sure you never bring with you when you go out to visit a potential property. And that is any type of emotional attachment to this property or any others. This is a business. It's a numbers-based business. And it's very easy to get caught up in the charm of some of these old houses and the vision of what you can make it into. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's easy to get caught up in all of that. But just remember, don't allow yourself to get emotional about any property. It's a business. It's an investing business. And if the numbers don't make sense, the property doesn't make sense. Don't waste any of your time getting emotional and trying to convince yourself of anything otherwise. Now let's hang out for a few more minutes in my Visit Potential Properties with Me video, and I will take you through a couple of houses and show you exactly what I see as an investor when I walk into a house for the very first time. I'll be waiting for you over there, so I'm going to link that video to the end of this one. All you need to do is click it, and we'll hang out for a few more minutes over there. Bye, y'all. To be detailed at my site, Lori Loves These. Lori Loves These. What's my website? Lori Loves These. That's my website.